According to Huffington Post, there are 40,000 youth placed in foster care every year. Now, albeit these numbers seem rather low, these children are America's next innovators, leaders, and decision makers. Today, we shall examine why parents feel they need to abandon their children, what effects abandonment has on their children, and what is being done about it. Unfortunately, it exists, but child abandonment is a horrendous act that many people fail to acknowledge just how prevalent it is. But even so, there are several reasons why parents feel they need or want to abandon their children. One of these reasons that parents feel they want to abandon their children is that they never wanted them in the first place. This is the case if a parent gave birth as a teenage pregnancy, or if the mother was a victim of rape. Another reason parents feel they want to get rid of their child or abandon them, is because they feel they cannot provide financially for that child. According to CNN, it will cost an estimated $241,000 for middle-income couples to raise a child born last year for the next 18 years. Now, as you can see by the graph here, it shows the breakdown of how much money is spread out through that roughly $241,000. Now, according to Amanda Holdsworth, who lives outside of Detroit with her husband and 22-month-old daughter, they pay more than $1,000 a month for their daughter's daycare center, which is nearly 15% of their income. And as we can see here, of the $241,000, roughly $41,000 is spent just on child care and education. Another thing we have to consider, though, is that from state to state and county to county, the cost of living is highly different, and it will differentiate how parents feel about being able to provide for their children. Now, the final reason parents feel they want or need to abandon their children is that they cannot take care of their own responsibilities or they feel overwhelmed. It is a huge risk, or it is a huge responsibility to take on not only your own school or needs and wants, you have to prioritize your child's needs and wants, school, and whatever else they may need before you. And some parents cannot handle that. As a result of parents abandoning their children, the effects that children suffer from are considerable and need to be acknowledged. One of these effects is psychological guilt, or psychological, and they feel guilty that they did something wrong, and that it caused their parents to abandon them. Another thing that psychologically happens is that if a child is raised in an anti-grief family and can't express themselves or the loss of that loved one, they may carry that into the future, and it may lead to them developing chronic or periodic depression. Another effect of abandonment is the social impact. And what happens with that is that the child may not or finds it difficult to maintain relationships. And on top of that, it is difficult for he or she to see other children experiencing a normal life with an intact family. And the final effect that abandonment has on children is a behavioral impact. Children who are very young, from baby up to about 8 years old, tend to regress to behaviors such as thumb sucking, bedwetting, temper tantrums, and clinging onto a favorite toy or blanket. Now, for children who are about aged 9 to 12, they react to abandonment with aggression or anger. And what this means is that it may carry out into their next family and into their household duties. Nevertheless, nothing can be done to stop children from experiencing these effects once they have been abandoned. However, there are steps being taken to mitigate parents from abandoning their children without penalty. One of these things is a safe haven law. Now, unfortunately, yes, parents will abandon their children. We can't stop that. But a safe haven law allows mothers to safely abandon their newborn infants in safe locations without fear of being charged with the crime of child abandonment. What this does, though, is it allows children to at least be abandoned in a safe place, like a church or a hospital, where at least will be abandoned and be taken care of immediately, instead of out in the dumpster or out in the street in the cold and the rain. Another thing that is being done is called a mandatory reporting law. And what this means is that because child abandonment is considered child abuse in some states, people who know or suspect people of child abandonment must report their information to the appropriate authorities immediately. And one of the last things that is being done about child abandonment is foster care and adoption. And what this means is that for parents who abandon their children, they have up to 3 weeks to reclaim that child without penalty. But after such time, their child is then put into the system up for adoption for new parents or into a foster care system where they will be raised by other parents for a small sum of money every month to take care of their costs. Child abandonment, although it is a problem, many people do not realize the scale in which it takes place. There is not enough information left to the public about why parents leave their children and what happens to those children who are left behind. What most Most people know about to an extent is adoption and foster care. However, many do not realize what laws or regulations are also in place. By putting more of this information out there to the public, there's always hope that child abandonment can be stopped and that children can grow up in a healthy environment with families that love them.